Welcome everybody to yet another live interview show with Become a Fearless Father. And today I have a spontaneous guest, right? It went quick. We talked yesterday and today he's already on saying, yeah, man, let's do this. It's going to be fun. So Gabriel, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate you just responding with that enthusiasm. I love that. Before we get into your background, right, introduce you a little bit more to the audience, I first have a question, man, because I liked the last one of your, I guess, most recent YouTube videos in regards to stress. The only thing was, I'm glad I speak Spanish because the text was in English, and then I went to a Spanish video. I was talking about stress, and you were mentioning like how to control stress and make it a positive part in your life, right? Which is not the way people see it, because everybody thinks about stress and it's like, oh, stress, no, stay away from stress, right? So I really want to hear your point on this to start off, because I think that's a very, very important topic for dadpreneurs, because, man, life can be stressful as a dadpreneur for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you see, like stress is just a normal reaction of our body. It's just a way to react to things. And the problem is that we always think about it as in a negative way, when it's actually something good, because our body is responding to a change. Our body is responding to something that is happening to us. So I think that when somebody feels stressed, the first thing is to like understand that your body is functioning correctly. So that's great. That's why you get stressed. It's getting alert. It's something's happening here. And then when we are into a long stress for a long time, then our mind starts to think it's a bad thing. And every time we learn something, every time we start a project, every time we start a new entrepreneur thing, or we started something new, our body is going to feel stressed, our mind is going to feel stressed, and it's up to us to change it canalize it in a positive or in a negative way. So I think that's the first thing we need to understand, that every reaction we have every change we face, it's gonna stress us. So yeah.
All right. Can you compare that kind of like, getting, for example, like I eat strawberries, my body gets a rash because I can't handle strawberries. So my body is giving me an alert saying like, hey, dude, you can't eat strawberries. Is that kind of, can I see it like that? Like, okay, I'm starting something new, but I'm putting, a lot of stress on my body. My body is reacting like, dude, giving me that anxiety, that feeling of like overwhelm and stuff like that. And then a reaction like, okay, dude, what you're doing is okay, but you can't do this for too long because, yeah, apparently something within you can't handle it. And then you start looking at it like, okay, so what's next? What should I change to make sure that this stress is helping me move forward instead of making me move backwards, right? Because too much stress at a certain point is going to, get you burned out, right?
Yeah, that's right. When we start a new project, the first thing is we start learning, and that learning curve takes us to a lot of stress because we don't know about it. We're just learning about it. And then comes we get to the tip of the curve, and then we start like knowing what we need to do, because we already learned that, and then stress goes down. If we start to get desperate and we're not patient into that learning curve, that's when our mind starts to struggle. It's like, okay, I'm not getting there. And those little negative words, I'm not getting there, and I'm not getting there, it's just kind of looping in your mind, and that stresses you in a negative way. So we think we're not moving forward, and then we start like thinking we're not going to make it. And that's very important, to put some milestones and goals in not only in the long term, but also like a small milestones, small goals that we can get through it. That way our mind just shifts it, and it's okay, we got there. And then a few steps more, okay, we got there. A few steps more, we got there. And it becomes just a positive reinforcement to our mind to tell us that we can do it. The problem is most of the issues we face is that we're always talking about long-term goals, and we just focus on that long-term goals. Okay, I want to lose 20 pounds. All right, you're not going to lose 20 pounds in 1 month or in 1 week. And we are everybody tells you that, of course, if you're gonna get to your goal, you need to regularly visit your goal and see where you are. So you're visiting your 20 pounds goal every day, and every day you're not gonna lose weight. So your mind is like, okay, I didn't lose any weight today. Okay, I didn't lose any weight today. So it's very important to also our goals to be realistic, and we start looking at them in a positive way. Okay, I lost 20 pounds, and those 20 pounds, if I've been like without making any exercise for the last, I don't know, 4 or 3 months, our body's not going to react the same. So that means the first week, not the first day. So the first week, maybe my milestone is just like 3 pounds or 5 pounds, because that's just the normal reaction of the body. We're not going to lose weight that fast. And then the next week, maybe I'm not going to lose any weight. So I have to have like a weekly goal and then a monthly goal, because maybe 1 week you don't make it, and another week you're going to lose more weight that you think so. And then you'll also look at it a month after. And that way our minds just go, okay, this is doable. But if you're like, okay, 20 pounds in 1 month, and I'm not getting there, I'm not getting there, I'm not getting there. Then you look at food and you're like, okay, I want that food. Because at the end, I'm not losing any weight. I'm not losing any pounds. So why should I continue if I can eat and stay the way I am? And the way I am, it's comforting for me. So you get to that comfort zone, and you don't put that, and you're watching those goals, and you're not accomplishing them. Then everything like goes into a negative thought. So that's kind of the way I think it works.
Exactly. Perfect, man. Yeah, I like that extra iteration on that. I would definitely say don't step on the scale every single day. But I got a friend of mine who is on a absolute weight losing journey. It's fantastic, and he is stepping on his scale every single day. And that actually helped him to train that mind, just what you're talking about, right? Because he has a goal, long-term goal. He steps on the scale every single day. He calculated like, okay, what do I need to lose every single day? And then one day, all of a sudden, he went up. He knew he was going to go up because he had like a party, and hey, sometimes you got to eat what you got to eat.
And you.
Oh, you got stuck there for a second, Gabriel. Uh-oh. Now, I'm not sure if this is on my end or if this is on Gabriel's end, but for now, he seems to be stuck. So I'll just quickly finish that. The guy changed his mindset, and now absolute beasting it. So if he goes back a little bit, he knows that has nothing to do with the end. Yeah, you got stuck there for a second, buddy, but that's all right. Yeah. So as I mentioned to the people, he learned is like, okay, me going back, I'm still further ahead than when I was a month ago, 2 months ago, right? I still lost weight. So it's okay. And it's always that mindset that we need to continue to teach it to speak positive, because we're so, it kind of seems by nature negative with ourselves and really strong to ourselves in regards to self-talk. And it's always self-negative talk, right? So I really appreciate you sharing that. Gabriel, before we go any further, man, and let me quickly, before I forget, because I always forget, people know that by now, let me share this real quick. So I want to dive into your background story a little bit. Share with us also, very important, so that people know a little bit about your marriage and in regards to your kids, right, in the business. People are watching right now, this link that you see here, gabrielcollignon.com, you can click on the link, right, because it's just in the comment section. And for those of you that are watching the replay, either on YouTube or podcast, this link will be in the description. All right, man, take it away. Let us know a little bit more about Gabriel, please.
Well, it's kind of a long story between my wife and I. She's my high school sweetheart. So we went through a lot of stuff. We spent 12 years together before we got married. So it was a long journey. She had to move from the city we lived in with her parents, so it was kind of tough, having her, and then she went in long distance relationship, and then I was going visiting her. I don't know. It was kind of tough. So we got married 9 years ago. We have two kids, wonderful kids. My son is 7 and my daughter is 4, and they're just, I don't know what to say. I'm a dad in love of his kids, and I'm really in love with my wife. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. She's the one that my kids are. I think it's because of her. I've been very, very, very blessed with my relationship.
Awesome. Great to hear. And high school sweethearts, man, you don't hear that very often, and then still together, man. That's props. Congratulations on that. Really enjoy that. We're actually expecting all an invite, right, for the 10th anniversary coming up soon. That's
Definitely.
Awesome. Great. So listen, what about business-wise? You're a dadpreneur. What is it exactly that you do, and how did you come to this deciding, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
Okay. I started 20 years ago working for a university, and I was in the public relations and admissions department. So, and I've always, since I was a kid, we didn't have much money, so I always needed to go into sales. I went with my mom, and she sold everything. Just because she couldn't sell us, but she could also do it. She's so good. She could sell everything, and she was the one who helped me get through all the selling part of the thing when you're not confident, and you just watch her, and I don't know, she's great at that. And my dad, he owns a hardware store, so I was also behind the cash register and helping people there. So I went to the university to study. I was working there also. I didn't have any money to pay for it, so I worked at the university. And one of I think one of the biggest projects that started everything, I was in charge also of the website of the university.
No.
And the websites were, well, like they're today, but mostly they were only talking about the corporative stuff, mission, vision, values, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm selling to the university, and nobody has ever asked me about those kind of things. So that's how I started kind of replicating what I did offline and trying to put it online. And that's a wonderful journey. I'm an engineer, so I love like programming and all that stuff. And once I quit that job and went with my girlfriend that time, I went to live with her from Guadalajara. It's where I used to live, and I went to Mexicali. It's kind of I don't know, like a 48 drive time. And I moved there, and I started a media company, a website and media company, and I started helping businesses, instead of having just websites, replicating their sales process and take it. And that's how it started. And I just want to help so much dadpreneurs, because my dad struggled so hard being with us, and it's something that I don't know. I just remember him. He wanted to be with us on vacations, and he did everything he could. And sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. And I started like focusing on small businesses and family-owned businesses. But I was so obsessed with helping them that I didn't realize at that time that they, at the end, they don't want to be helped if they don't increase their bottom line. It's as a small business owner, as a dadpreneur, as an entrepreneur, there's nothing you're gonna focus on if the money you're giving to your family, the lifestyle is not the one you've always wanted. So you gotta start there. And I started like helping them change their attitude, change their mindset. And that's how I became a coach. 10 years ago, I decided, you know what, I not only want to have my media business, but I want to get into coaching. And I love conferences and workshops, and I just love being on stage. So I started that way. And that took me through this journey. I started talking to them, learning their struggles, helping them overcome their milestones and their obstacles. And it got me there. And I love what I'm doing right now. I'm helping entrepreneurs, especially family-owned businesses or solopreneurs, which are the ones who struggle a little bit more. Help them grow their business first, and then explain to them how can they have more time with their family. So that's part of what I'm doing right now, and I just love it.
Awesome, man. Glad to hear. It's absolutely necessary. It's very important. And yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I remember when I first started being an entrepreneur. I was already a dad, but then I became an entrepreneur, thinking that now I got more time with my son. It actually got worse in the beginning. So I changed that around, right? And I teach now to the Dadpreneur that, you can have it all. You just got to make sure that you focus on all the aspects instead of just, all that drive to wanting to make your business go boom. But yeah, I love that, man. So what is it Dadpreneur as a word, what does it mean to you?
Well, it means to me to first have always your kids you're always looking for what they need first. And I know it's hard when you have a business. I know it's hard when you're an entrepreneur, but having them in your business plan, I think that's the best thing you can do. Your family, your business can go up and down, and you can have clients and then lose clients. So you can start always another business, but your kids, my son right now, he's 7, and I don't know, he's growing so fast. There's so many things I cannot share with him anymore. He doesn't want to be hugged that much, and if I didn't was like clear on that, I would have missed all of it. And right now, I think you can always get more money. You can always sell more. You always, I don't know, wake up earlier and work. When they need something, when what they need to experience with you as a dad, I think that's what means to me, like being an entrepreneur, being able to be with them and what they need the most. And that is time. What they need from me the most is time and my experience, and I don't know, sharing a lot of stuff. And I think that's something he's not going to forget. I don't know, never.
I like that, man. I don't know if you hear him or see him, but
yeah,
mine are going crazy at the moment. What's up, buddy? Nah. You want to say hello? Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
So what's going on?
How are you, buddy?
No, se llama Gabriel. Yeah, there we go. Family complete.
Hey.
Hola, Gabriel.
Sí.
Hola.
¿Entiendes de pie?
Gabriel entiende español.
Sí. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien.
Qué bueno.
Mira cómo lo hace. Mira qué lo hace. Una multa, toma. Multa.
Ahora, chicos, ¿vais a jugar un poquito más en el salón? Sí, venga. Mi papá sigue con su entrevista un poquito más, ¿vale? Y luego
Juegas con nosotros.
luego juego con vosotros, ¿vale?
Con la gaita.
Venga, con las cartas, muy bien. Gracias, chicos. All right, so as always, getting that nice visit of my kids. And I think Gabriel got stuck again, which is perfectly fine. He just mentioned what Dadpreneur means to him. And yeah, absolutely. It's so important to make sure that you have it all, right? Make sure that as an entrepreneur, you spend your time in your business, but at the same time, make sure that you spend your time with your kids, with your wife, and especially with the kids, right? When they're that age. You just mentioned you got a 4-year-old, 7-year-old. Man, now it's my dog. If it's not my kids, it's my dog, man. So it is so important that we spend the time with our kids, especially when they're so young. Gabriel, you still with me? A little stuck again? Uh-oh. No, we're going to wait a little bit for that. We're going to dive a little bit for the people that are online with us right now. We're going to dive a little bit more. I'm dying to know what kind of coach Gabriel is. So we're going to talk a little bit about his coaching. He has mentioned a couple of things that I've seen as well from his site, where he talks about growing your business without looking for new clients. So I'm really interested in learning from him what that means as well. Let me do it like just real quick and see if he can come back online with us. And besides that, we're going to talk a little bit about tips that he has for us, how to connect with our wife. We're going to talk about, there he comes. There he is. So, yeah, but I just kept talking. Just trying to make sure until you come back. So, as you mentioned, man, you've been a coach for the last 10 years. Can you explain a little bit to the people, like, what's the importance of a coach? What does a coach do? What are the benefits, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you an example. Just I just got a new client like a month ago. And I was talking to him at the beginning. We're having like this clarity session to talk about what he's experiencing, what he wants to accomplish. And he's with his wife. They're a family-owned business. And he was telling me all this stuff that was going on in their lives. And I was listening to him, and he just wanted to get so many things done. And at one point, I was just listening to him, and I told him, because he asked me, okay, so what am I getting from you? And I think it's very important. I told him, because he also added, because I already know what to do, and I was like, yeah, of course you know what to do. The thing is, you haven't done it. And that's what I'm there for. I'm there to help you implement, and I'm there to accompany in that journey and get it done. There are a lot of roles we play as a coach. Sometimes you also listen to them about their relationships, but I think the one of the main things why you need a coach is because he's going to help you accountable. He's going to help you get things done. And we get lost into implementing because of fear of what's going to happen. And your coach is gonna I don't know, show you the way that it will happen. I think that's the most important role of us as coaches. Help them implement, and not just because it's different as a consultant. I don't have anything against them. I was a consultant at the beginning, and you solve their problems and you tell them what to do, and they're gonna always be needing you if they get into the same the same problem. And as a coach, you're going to help them learn how to get out of that problem, how they can find a solution, and how they can implement by themselves. And that way, they don't need to like all the time for the same thing. You're evolving with them, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I always keep telling people, like, if you have a good client, then as a coach, you're going to lose them real fast because you're going to make them grow so fast by teaching them everything you know, right? Then they're going to outgrow you at one point. At least that's the way I look at it, right? Which means that for me, I just got to step up my game and get better and better.
Yeah, definitely.
There's other coaches. I'm in the beginning, like you're far ahead in your journey as a coach. I just started out, so I just 3 months ago. And I got several clients at the moment that are excited, but one of them is just growing so fast that sometimes I'm like, I gotta start learning faster. I gotta find a way to learn faster so I can keep ahead of him, or find a different solution for him and be like, dude, man, I just right now you're at the same space that I'm in. I would love to continue with you, but there's somebody else that I know for a fact that's further ahead of me that can help you now move and grow faster and continue.
And they're still gonna need you, just in a different area. It's not that okay, they already solved this and bye. That happens when you're a consultant. You finish the project and then it ended. But as a coach, you're always gonna be his support system, part of his support system. And even though something happens that it's out of your area of expertise, he trusts you, and he's gonna call you. And you know, this is happening. What can I do?
Yeah.
And as part of a support group, you're gonna refer him to somebody else in that particular topic. But he's still gonna call you. You know, how do you see this? How do you see that? And as long as he always has that support system, that's great. Because sometimes as coaches, we are like, okay, he's having another coach. What happened to me? And I don't know, a person can have multiple coaches, you know, a performance coach, or a for his business. And we all need to work together. Because I've been blessed enough, like some clients, I call them and I say, you know, I want to meet with all your coaches. Because we need to be in the same page. We need to work towards the same goal. And as long as we do that, because it's in our best interest, we're your coaches because we want the best for you, not for us. So if we get together and we can figure out the way to work in a way that we help him, that the client or her, that's really gonna be valuable.
Absolutely, well said, man. Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And also, very important, of course, mention directly the difference between, I call it mentor or coach, right? The mentor is just there and he just keeps telling you like, okay, you need to do this, and the coach is really there to guide you, ask you the questions, because everybody in the end has the answer innately within themselves, right?
Yeah. You always know what to do. You know, you always have the solution. You know it in your mind. You know you have to do that. The thing is, we don't do it.
Yeah. No, exactly. No, and that's the same thing. I went live exactly 30 minutes before we started, and talking about, you know, our innate desire as a father to immediately help our kids with that challenge, with that problem, right? And that's the same sometimes if you're not careful as a coach. You really want to help them and give them your opinion, your view, your answer. While, as you mentioned, that doesn't help. With the same with our kids, it doesn't help them grow. It doesn't help them, you know, then they're just going to depend on you saying, okay, so Gabriel, I got this issue, you know, what's your solution for me? Nah, dude, my solution might not even work for you. You got to figure out your own solution. You got to set up a system where you can every single time just decide, okay, this is my challenge. These are the steps that I need to take to come up with a solution that fits me best, right? So, yeah, man, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me ask you this as well, man, because I was interested in this. I think there was also from one of your YouTube videos. It said, grow your business without having to look for new clients. Did I translate that correctly, or did I completely?
No, you did translate correctly.
All right, go.
Yeah, you did.
All right, cool. So share, man. I'm very interested.
As entrepreneurs, we're always looking for new ways to do things. Like that's in our system. That's in our pod. You know, we are always trying to make something better. We're looking for a new thing, and it also happens with our clients. We're always in the look for new clients, and it's so much better to look inside and just try to sell something else to your actual client. They need something. They need a support system. They may need something. You can find a different product that just complements what you sold at the beginning, or you can find something that once you, you know, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we offer solutions. We don't sell products. So anything you have to offer and they bought, they did it to solve something. But that's what we also came up with different challenges. And you need to look for your actual clients. What are the new challenges they face once they have your solution? So if you focus in the inside, the clients you have, that helps you grow like faster and will get you further than if you're just looking for new clients. That's what I meant. It's like you always need to be first looking inside and how you can help them better, and that way you can make more money instead of looking for new clients. Looking for new clients is much more expensive. It's exhausting having to sell all the time, and your clients, your actual clients, they're already sold on the idea of you. So that was you already past that line, and that's gonna help you grow faster.
Exactly. Yeah, you already have that relationship with them, right? So they trust you already instead of having to spend all that energy and money to get new people to trust you. It's one of the things, it might be a weird example, but I'll give you anyway. I don't know how it is where you're from, but here in Spain, it's horrible. Once you're not a customer of theirs, they treat you like kings. As soon as you're a customer, it's like you don't exist anymore, right? It's like, dude, shouldn't you pay more attention to your customer and try to keep them and keep them happy instead of trying to all the time spend so much money on trying to get new customers?
Mm-hmm.
It's simple advice when you give it. It's not easy, right? Because you have to invest in your current clients, but still investing in your current clients is, at least in my opinion, it's more fun, right? To work on really how to improve your relationship with your current client, how to really understand him better. And because that's what you need to do, right? To really figure out, okay, what else are you struggling with? What else can I help you with and can offer? So yeah, man, that's great advice.
The hardest part is not only out there, but in ourselves. As
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, we want something else. Okay, we already got that client. That means we accomplished that goal, and then we need to move on. And of course not. You have to, if you want to sell to your actual clients more stuff, you need to get together, you need to take some time, you need to think new ways, and you already figured out the strategy to sell to new clients. You
Mhm.
already know that path. So it appears to be easier because you already know how, but it's actually not, because for every 7 people you're going to visit, one is going to become a client.
Mhm.
Uh, However, you already have 100 clients. It's much easier for them to buy something else. And
Exactly.
I think, yeah, it's more I think it's more an internal thing. That's something that I don't know, something we need to get over.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Man, I think Nadia's watching. Nadia, if you haven't met her yet, she's on the same course as we are, and I think she's a little behind because she just sent this. Oh, cute! And I think that's in regards to the kids that came on like 15 minutes or 10 minutes ago. So that's
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. But Nadia, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate that. It's great to have these new courses and then immediately connect because you all have the same goal, right? You all have the same journey that you're walking and getting to know new people. I love it, man. So let's step into, because we're a little over halfway, and let's step into the next phase of the interview, so to say.
okay.
I'm trying to play with this a little bit so that for the people that watch me, they're like, you going again a little different? Yes, I am. I keep trying new things. First, I started first talking about the entrepreneurship, then talking about family stuff. Then I changed it around. Then I started first talking about family stuff because it's dadpreneur.
Hmm.
Now I'm actually like, no, it depends on who I'm speaking with. So if the person I'm
Okay.
speaking with has a lot of experience, knowledge about kids, then I'm first going to talk about that. However, if I see like, hey, the guy's a coach just like me, then I first want to talk about that, and then we dive into the dad part, the husband part. So let's
Yeah,
dive into the husband part,
I love
right?
that part.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive into the amazing part for you, man. High school sweethearts. Give me some of your tips, man, because you've been through it all pretty much, right? It's like now your life is crazy as an entrepreneur, as a dad, as a husband, but you've also been there where you're living far apart, etc. Share with us, man. What are some of the tips that you can share in regards to connecting with your wife?
Hmm. Well, the first thing is, if I can just share one thing, it would be never stop talking to her.
Mm,
Sometimes we get into our business, we get into our lives as a dad, as a business owner, and as a couple, we forget about each other. And
mhm,
one thing we've been like very clear, she and I, is we always have our date time. We always go on a date. Every week we go on a date. Uh, Even though back then when we didn't have any money and we were struggling, we were starting the business, we had our date. Just buy something outside, and walk and talk. So I think talking is the talking and having that space. It's the number one thing, so you can keep connected. That's I know it's crucial, and it's been for my marriage, and it's been for us as a couple, and also to still be in love, you know. And we are another thing I would like to share with you, and she always tells me like, how do you do that? Mindset is really important. And what I mean with mindset is, in our business, we're always reading quotes and trying to stay positive and listening to someone that had success in their business. And one of the things everybody, all successful people tell you about is wake up, think about your goal, think what you need to do, and get the mindset. So one thing that I always, when I wake up, I look at her and I out loud say that I love her and she's the most beautiful person I've ever met. And that keeps me, I don't know, on the roll. So yeah, I think that's just coming, being able to communicate and talk all the time, and always, 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 always look at her. Because when we forget about our couple, when we forget about our spouse and we focus on our business and on our kids, that that connection can be broken. You know, it breaks. So
Yeah.
that's one of the most important things that we've done together. And we always, I don't know, we go to we drink I don't know, a bottle of wine or just a glass of wine, and we talk, but not only good things, you know, your business has ups and downs, and you have to talk to her about your business. We try to separate our business and our life. And one thing that I have very clear is that my business, our business, and my life cannot be separated. Dadpreneur, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you cannot separate that. It's part of who you are. So you go home and you're thinking about your business, and you're okay. I need to do this because this gives me the money I need to get the lifestyle I want for my family. But you got to talk to her. You got to share those kind of things. And you also have to I don't know, you have to shut that business part in your mind, and when you're with her, focus on her. It's not about you, it's not about your business. If she asks, then you share, but first you need to first think about her. Ask her, how was your day, how was her day? Ask how it went, what happened in her day, and that she starts sharing, then we connect, and then she's going to ask about how it went in our business. So, and that starts a conversation. Also, when you're with your kids, you need to shut down the part of, if you're at the soccer game, you don't answer a phone call. If your kid just ended the game and you're gonna go and say, hey, congratulations about the game, and then a phone call comes about your business, and you don't need to answer it. Whatever it is can be handled 15 minutes later. So stay with your kid, focus on him, embrace him, give him something. Also with your wife, you need to focus on her. And once you do that, I think, I don't know, the ball just keeps rolling.
Exactly. Man, that's some solid advice. I appreciate you sharing that. When you start talking about soccer and the phone, I had to start laughing because one of the stories was when I started dating my wife, and then of course not my wife yet, but in the beginning, she went with me to a soccer game, and I scored the most amazing goal of my life. And I stood there, like, looked at her, and she was reading a book. And she just goes, yeah, really good. She doesn't like soccer. That was my life, playing soccer.
And that happens with your kids a lot. You know, your kid, if they're in a game or they're practicing something, the least thing or the most unexpected thing is going to make them look at you. It's not the goal. It's not maybe for them, it's just passing through that, the other guy. And when he passes it, he looks at you. And you're like, oh, he didn't score the goal. I'm in the phone. Come on, man, you're missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great advice. Look at that. I'm asking about wives, and we're talking about wives and kids at the same time, giving solid advice. I appreciate that, bro. So, also, man, you mentioned communication, right? Can you share with me a little bit, like, how do you make sure, in a form of communication, that you're both on the same page when it comes to raising your kids? Because I've noticed in my house, that sometimes it's difficult. No, you have different values. You have the same values, but also different ones. And sometimes you just think differently in regards to how to raise your kids, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you go about making sure that, you're both aligned in regards to raising your kids?
Well, but I think I'm gonna step back a little bit. And the first thing I want to say about that topic is that's why it's so important that you really take the time to choose the right person for you. We most of the time we're just maybe attracted to a body type or just a type of conversation, or maybe because we had fun. And I think that's one of the strengths of us as a couple. We've been through so much, and it's been a long time that I know her. Well, you never really finish knowing your spouse, but there's always new things. She's evolving, you're evolving, but it's very important for you to when you're in the boyfriend girlfriend starting a relationship thing, you need to choose wisely, and sometimes we don't do that. Mm-hmm. But once you're married, of course there are things that you don't think the same way. For example, my wife and I, the first true fight we had was because my son Gabriel, he was, I don't know, like 2 months or 3 months old, and he had some temperature. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she wanted to, the moment she realized that, she wanted to give him some medicine, and I was like, nope, you need to wait a little bit, and this little flus that he needs to I don't know, strengthen his body. And at that moment we were like, okay, this is going to become a big fight, because I don't want him to give him any medicine, and she wants to give it like right away. So I think, hi baby, I'm gonna do the same that you did.
Hey, hola.
Hola. So she's my dog, my beautiful princess. Hey.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Qué tal estás?
Andrea. Estoy muy bien. Se llama Andrea.
Andrea. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Alex.
Hola.
Hola, Alex.
Hola. Y Diego.
Mira.
Diego también.
Alex y Diego. ¿Cómo estás, mi amor?
Muy bien.
¿Ya se van? Sí, ahorita lo arreglamos. Okay. Claro, dame un minuto. Yeah, she's going to a summer camp.
Oh, nice.
¿Mandé? Yeah, she wanted me to tell you guys that I love her.
Sorry, what?
She wants me to tell you guys that I love her.
Oh, that's very good. That's very important.
Jugando a la policía.
¿Ah, sí?
¿Cómo?
Podéis estar aquí, pero con silencio, ¿vale? Falta 15 minutos y ya está. Ya vamos a jugar con las cartas. ¿Ok?
Yo voy a cogerla.
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah, sorry.
That's quite all right. I understand that situation because, yeah, you both have a completely different opinion in regards to how to take care of your kid, which neither one is wrong, neither one is right in that situation, right? So yeah, it makes it very interesting.
And you know, sometimes you just have to you give, and sometimes she has to do it, you know. And but yeah, that's the first big fight we had.
Yo quiero Kino.
Vale, un poco, venga.
Y yo quiero el
No, ese ya está vacío. All right, this is by far the most interrupted live interview that I've had, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Just so people know, I love it. They're my kids and Gabriel's daughter, so it's absolutely fantastic. I keep saying
Yeah.
You should say Gabriel. I'm sorry about that.
Right. Both are okay. So yeah, I think that's and you need to talk about it when you're in that kind of situation. You need to talk about it. And you need to let her know your reasons, and you need to ask for her reasons, because there's something there. There's a background there.
Yeah.
And she, like, for example, she get used to when she was a kid, she got a lot of a flu, and she had to take a lot of medicine, and that's what helped her to get it through. So, and in my case, it was the other way around. My mom and my dad, they didn't like much medicine at the beginning. So yeah, you need to talk about that, and you need to see where she's coming from, and she needs to understand where you're coming from, and then you go to a middle point. You know, this time, all right, this time you win and give him some medicine. Next time we're gonna wait a little bit more, and you know, it's just back and forth, back and forth.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, that's great advice. Absolutely. You need to understand where she's coming from, because from your point of view, right, which is understandable, you know, the kid has to grow their own immune system, so it's good. Let them go through it. However, from her experiences, right, which were completely different from yours, it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of understand why you immediately want to give the medicine, right? It makes complete sense. Yeah, man, that's absolutely solid. All right, now that we've seen your beautiful daughter, man, let me ask you, how do you go about making sure that you create, because you mentioned something earlier that's absolutely gold as well. It's like, look, man, they're young now, and the faster they grow up, it's like, you know, the less time they want to spend with you, right?
Yeah.
If at all at a certain age, as far as I've understood. We haven't reached that yet, so who knows. But how do you make sure that you create like everlasting experiences with your kids?
Oh man, I just give everything I have to give them at that moment. I think that we're sometimes trying to do so many things for our kids, and we don't listen to them. And I don't know. It's just you have to listen to them what they really want. And it's not that you're always gonna give on what they want all the time, because that's part also of how you're raising your kids. But sometimes you're like, okay, let's go to the park. And you know, Daddy, I draw something for you. Okay, that means something. You listen to your kids. That means something. Okay, so what do you draw? It's not like, okay, leave it there. Let's go to the park. Daddy, I'm drawing. You see this heart? Here's you. Here's mom. Here's my brother. So it's not park moment. It's drawing moment. And if you just focus on that, that makes a great experience for them. And that's how they feel listened to. They feel part of what they want to do. It's not just mom, dad, whatever they want to do. No. I think that's what makes like a great experience. Just being there, focus on them, listen to them, and when you respond, they like kids are I don't know, they notice everything. They know it. They know when you're there, but you're really not. They get it, man. So yeah, I just try to focus on that moment and really talk and listen to them.
Yeah, again, great advice. Yeah, as dads, we think so often that we know exactly what it is that we need or must do to have fun with our kids.
Yes.
Especially, Matt, I did a couple of posts about it already, because we go a lot. We got year tickets to go to the zoo and to go to the amusement parks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the zoo, for some reason, is like the biggest place for families to go and don't have a good time.
Yeah.
It's like I see so many dads so upset, yelling at their kids, yelling at their wife, arguing, blah blah blah, and I'm like, but wait a minute. I mean, you planned this. I hope you did, right? To go to the zoo, have fun, and then you argue with your kids. It's like, why are you going to the zoo in the first place? To all have fun. But why do you go to the zoo? It's not so you can have fun. You have fun because your kids have fun. At least that's the way I see it. So if you decide, because I love shows, right? So I love to go to the dolphin show and to the bird show that they have. So last time I'm like planning. So we're like, boom, boom, boom. We go to here, 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 right? And then the kids decide, no, we want to see the gorillas. I mean, how much of a dumbass would I be to then still say, no, we're going to have fun and I'm going to take you guys to the dolphin show? The kids are going to be miserable. They're going to be like, nah, dude, we want to see the gorillas. So, yeah, you can make it yourself as hard as you can. You can make it as easy as you can. And I'm not saying that, because I follow this as well. I'm not saying that you always have to say yes to your kids. However, if the opportunity comes, say it's yes as many times to your kids as you can, right? If it's no, it's no, and keep to that. But try and say yes, because in the end, you make it easy for them and a lot more fun. And you make it easy for yourself, right? And then enjoy that experience, as you mentioned.
And we forget that they're kids. Okay, so they're kids. They want to run. They want to jump. The water is gonna fall. They're gonna split all over. They're gonna, I don't know. It's gonna get dirty.
Yeah.
But it will get dirty. You know, it's like you're with her and hey, here, there, and then just vomit goes. Ah, nothing happens. You know, it's just a shirt.
Yeah.
Just a shirt. Nothing's gonna happen. And even though you feel weird because people is looking at you because you're all like dirty and all that stuff, it's like, you know, and it happened to me when Gabriel was, I don't know, he was like, I don't know, maybe a year old. I was with him and we were at this like nice party, and I shake him without, well, I lift him and he just vomited all over me. And there was no way to go. I was like, I can't change. And I was like, you know what? He's my boy. And I don't care. And I'm not going to apologize for being like this. Even though people are looking at me all weird, like, you know, he's all dirty. So what? There's nothing I can do. I have a kid. I have a little boy. He vomited. If you're a dad, you should know what that means.
Like, yeah.
You know, like, okay, you are a father. You should know. And if you don't know, honestly, if you don't know, then you didn't get involved.
Exactly.
And that's bad, you know. If any dad that comes to me and like, hey, you know what? You're all like, what happened to your kids? You know, if you don't know how this works, then you were not present.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree, man. Like crazy stuff happens, and dads that understand look at you like, yep, done that, been there, right? Peed on you, you got shit on you, vomit. I mean, you've been through it all, right? It doesn't phase you anymore. It's like, hey, dude, man, it's just, you know, it's part of being a dad. You welcome it, or you know, you just suck it up.
Yeah, that's right.
I absolutely understand where you're coming from. So let me ask you. I got two more questions, man. Well, I got more questions, but these two I definitely want to ask you. So let's start with this one, man, because you clearly, from what you just answered, understand the concept of what's important for being the hero that your kids need in their lives, right? So, what do you do to make sure that you can be their Captain America or their My Little Pony or whatever it is, right? Whatever their most favorite hero is. How do you make sure that you can show up every single day as their biggest hero?
Oof. I don't know. I guess I just listen to them to see what they're into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dame un besito. Okay, bye bye. Okay. Que les vaya muy bien. All right. Love you. So first of all, listening to them. I always try to be like on top of what they like, and when I think I learned it when with my little boy when he was young, he was like, okay, Captain America, and I was dressed as Captain America at the party, you know. But then I realized this. Um, I tried to make him the hero, not me.
Mm.
And like you're the sidekick, and as long as you're the sidekick, you're the one who lifts him up so he's flying. You're the one who dies when he hits you, and you're the one that get beats up, or you're the one that's fighting the world with him. That way, you become the hero for them because you're with them in the journey. So and it was kind of hard for me because I always wanted to be like the hero and the Superman for my kid and the I don't know the strongest. You know, hey, Daddy, can you lift that? Yes, I can lift that. You know, it's just I can do anything you want. But I transitioned and I was like, okay, you need to be the best superhero, and I'll be there for you, and that way that makes me his superhero, and that makes me his hero because I'm with him in that journey, and I'm helping him getting through all that, through all the obstacles he wants to go, and yeah, that just like that.
Love it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that view. I'm going to remember that. I've written it down as well, just to remind myself of that. That's absolutely fantastic. They add me to the group. They like the Avengers, so I'm always one of the Avengers, and every day it changes, I think. But we'll keep going. We can't wait to see Endgame. It hasn't come out here yet, so we haven't seen it yet. Well, it has come out in the movies, but I don't want to watch it in Spanish. I mean, you probably know that. There's nothing worse than having amazing movies being dubbed in in a different language. It's the worst. Anyway, man, we got a couple of more minutes, so I want to ask you this. As a coach, well, as anybody pretty much, but as a coach as well, it's very important, self-development, right? Make sure that every single time you're on top of your game, energy is high, and you stay ahead of the curve, right? So what are some of the things that you do to continue to develop yourself?
I used to read a lot. I think reading is one of the I don't know, a book is the most powerful thing you can have. Even if you think it's a bad book, you're gonna get something out of it. And I just transitioned. Well, like 2 years ago, I transitioned from reading a lot books to listening a lot to audiobooks. And then as I bookmarked everything, then I bought the book and read it. I think that reinforces me. So I try to read a lot, but I think the most important thing is to be with people that are gonna help you move forward. It's not just about reading. It's not about learning. It's not just about being in the workshop or the conference or I don't know the summit. It's about being around those people and like just you, for example. I had this. I didn't want to go live in English, and I had this kind of fears this time, and you just pushed me through. You know, like, you want to be in my podcast. I would like to interview you, and I think this was great, and I really appreciate what you did. And this is the most important part of it. Get rid of your old friends, the ones that are not helping you move forward. Yeah, you can still go with them to one reunion or something and have a couple of beers, but don't make them part of your support group. You need to get together with people that are like-minded and they want a goal and they want to work as a team and help you. That would be it. Just surround with people, like-minded people,
Exactly.
but not people that I think this is very important. Not like-minded people that you think you're ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with people, like-minded people, that they can lift you up, that they can help you move forward. Because when you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're not going to learn anything. There's nothing. You're not going to move forward. So yeah, that would be it.
Exactly. Great, man. That's great advice to end it with. I'm just going to share this quickly for the people that have been with us until the end, right? This is Gabriel's website. You can check him out. But what are other good ways to stay connected with you, to get to know you more, to maybe even talk to you to see if you're a coach for one of these dadpreneurs? What's the best way to get connected?
Facebook. You can go into my Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube account. Just shoot me a comment, send me a message. I think I try to make myself pretty available. I know I'm not those guys that I'm not a coach that has like 3 different assistants and then you pass one and then another and then another. Honestly, it goes directly with me. Mm-hmm. So I read all messages. I answer to all the comments. I am the one that likes to be in touch with everyone, and I love that because that makes me grow. I learn from everybody. So yeah, just follow me in any of my social media accounts and just send me a message. No strings attached. If you just want to say hi, say hi. If you just want to be friends, just approach.
Awesome, man. I like that. For the people that are watching now live or watching on Facebook later on, this link is in the comment section. You can just click on it and go to the website. For those people that are listening or watching the replay, all of the links just mentioned by Gabriel, they will be in the description section, and you can click on that and get connected with him. Gabriel, thank you so much for taking the time for being on the show. Absolutely fantastic. It was perfect, dude, in English. Absolutely excellent. Everybody else, thank you so much for your continued support. Nadia, I appreciate you hopping on as well and checking us out for a little bit. I wish everybody a fantastic day, and I will see you guys very soon on another live interview. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Are you still meeting up with your friends now that you're a father? Kids making you stress out. You got no time for yourself to work out, read, or relax. Can you still remember the time you were hanging out with your friends, feeling energetic, happy, and confident? Spending time together and talking about your life and your crazy dreams. You're feeling alone now, don't you? No one to share your challenges with, and you're just running around from one storm into the next. Well, it's time to change this now. Join me and the Brotherhood of Fearless Fathers to speak on a weekly basis with like-minded dads to crush your challenges, face your fears with determination, be held accountable, and regain control of your life. If you want to become the hero your family needs you to be, then go to becomeafearlessfather.com/brotherhood. I'm looking forward to seeing you on one of our next calls.